Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're talking about the fourth trimester, what to expect, and just tips on how to breeze through it. So if it sounds interesting to you, stay with me guys. Okay, so the fourth trimester. What is the fourth trimester? It's the first 3 months after the baby is born, and it's best described as a series of shocks that you don't have the luxury of time to recover from or rest from. Because I mean, there's that child, like no matter what life throws at you, no matter what that child throws at you, you have to be, you have to be there for the child, right? It doesn't matter. So, right, just a few things that shocked me about the fourth trimester, and I felt like I didn't see or hear, not necessarily not see, but I didn't hear anywhere. It wasn't really in conversations. And the first thing was how hard it was for me when my baby had to be taken away. And I'm saying this because I know about how hard it is for babies that, parents that have to deal with their babies being in the NICU for, months or days or weeks, and things like that. But my baby was taken away for about 2 hours or less, and it was still really difficult. And, I didn't expect it. It wasn't anything in what I imagined or what I desired for myself. So I think that was something that really shocked me. Something else, guys, breastfeeding, whether it comes to you naturally or not, it's not easy. Regardless of whether or not you have any of the physical breastfeeding problems or not, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot from you, and it's not an easy journey. The love that you're going to have for your child is overwhelming, guys. I had the craziest mix of emotions after I had my baby. Everything, the entire spectrum, and every single emotion had a place. And everybody talks about joy and how you're so happy to have your baby, which you definitely will be, but you're going to have so many other emotions: anxiety, worry, some people even have delusions, so many things. You're going to deal with so many feelings. You will feel like you're failing, especially if it's your first baby, but you're not failing. You're doing a fantastic job. And that's something, no one really, you talk about baby blues and things like that, those are common concepts, but you're going to sometimes just feel like you're a terrible mother and maybe even a terrible human being, but you're not. Cluster feeding. I only heard about cluster feeding when I started experiencing cluster feeding, and then I checked it up. But cluster feeding is when your baby is eating, is feeding consistently, like every maybe 1 or 2 hours. And sometimes, guys, especially if you're breastfeeding, it would feel like your baby never actually, goes off your chest. Like they're always constantly feeding, and those days are really tough, guys. Some days you're gonna have to choose between food and sleep. And it just is that way, with caring for a baby who's, regardless of breastfeeding or not, feeding every 2 to 3 hours. That's almost constantly, because you're gonna shower, you're gonna sleep, you're gonna eat, it's almost like once you do something else, you're back to feeding again. So there will be days, especially when there's cluster feeding, where you would have to choose between food and sleep. There's something called FUSSY hour. I never knew of anything like that, but I just discovered that at a point my baby would always be very difficult to calm and difficult to she was just so fussy. I think hers was like 5 or 6 every day for like a few days. Like it was almost like clockwork. I had figured out how to calm her down on normal circumstances, but nothing would work in that period, that 1 hour period. Like she wouldn't, breastfeeding, she would cry, she would stop for like a few seconds, she would cry again. Almost seemed like nothing I did worked. You would carry her, stand up, pace around, she would be quiet for a bit, and then she would throw a tantrum again. So that's something that nobody ever told me about. Guys, if you have a vaginal birth, you're likely, and you have a tear and you have to be stitched up, you would most likely have a phobia for pooing. Yes, guys, you will be afraid to poo. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because you need to push to poo, and pushing is now, your brain is associating pushing to something else that was a bit traumatic to your body that just happened recently, and you'll be afraid to like burst your stitches. So don't be shy, don't be scared. I mean, don't be worried if you feel that way, and that's why some people have trouble pooing after having a baby. It's not necessarily because you can't, but you're even like your body is fighting it because you're scared. Your brain has associated it to something else. I didn't experience this, but I've heard that the first poop after a vaginal birth is painful. That wasn't my case. It was absolutely not. And some people aren't even able to do that for days, and that was also my case. So different things, different people have different experiences, but don't be surprised if it's painful. Now this one, jaundice. It's when the baby has high bilirubin levels. It's absolutely normal. It's very, very common. Absolutely, like, it's very common, and it's not a big deal, right? At that point, newborn jaundice is not a big deal. I mean, that's not going to stop you from worrying about it, but it's not your fault. There are things you can do to help it, prevent it, sort of, or more like not prevent it, but more like help it go quicker. And I will share some of those tips with you later on, but it's not your fault and it will pass. And lastly, guys, no matter what you do, like, I knew, like, once you have a baby you don't sleep. Like, what is sleep? But guys, I wasn't ready for the sleeplessness, like the impact on your body and all those things. And I don't think you can ever be ready for the sleeplessness. So don't tell yourself, I got this, I'm ready, no sleep. No, your body is gonna, it's not, you can never be prepared for it. That's just the bottom line of my gist. You feel me? Okay, guys. So now to the real good bits, right? It's difficult. So what you're gonna do to breeze through it, guys? First of all, like, nothing else is more important than God, of course. I wouldn't honestly say that I prayed about my recovery, because truth be told, guys, a lot of things that I experienced during my recovery I didn't hear about. Maybe partly because I didn't really go for antenatal classes. I missed quite a bit. So maybe that's, that was my fault. But I wasn't prepared for a lot of those things. I just knew that if you have a C-section, you're gonna have a bit of time, take some time to recover. But I thought with natural birth, with baby's out, we keep it moving. Yes, you're up on your feet, but there's still a lot of like healing and recovery that needs to take place. So I didn't really pray about that, but God was really good to me. I had my, postpartum check before the 6 weeks mark. I think it was 4 weeks or so, and my gynecologist thought I was at the 6 weeks mark. It was that good. Like I said, I didn't have trouble pooing. I didn't have my bleeding stopped pretty quickly. It took some days still, but it stopped pretty quickly. My stitches healed really, really well, and all that shebang. So it's something to pray about. Remember that God will help you, and you also need to pray for the strength and the grace to go through the postpartum. Be kind to yourself, guys. I can't say this enough. Like, just be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself with your healing. Be kind to yourself with how you're caring for your child. Be kind to yourself with whatever challenges you're facing. Just be kind to yourself, because it's bad enough. Do you understand? It's bad enough. You also can't not be kind to yourself. It's very essential. You need a solid support system, guys. And it's more about the quality than the quantity. It's not about having so many people around you, but it's about having a few good people around you. And when I mean support system, I don't just mean people that are, traditionally expected to be with you, but it's important to have people who actually know how to support you. Support and support means different things to different people. So it's important for you to identify people who understand what support means to you and are able to give you that support and have them around you. It's very, very, very important. You need to guard your space, guys. I can't say this enough. The energy that you let into your space is so important for your mental health, for your physical health as well. Like, and this is talking about friends and visitors and advice, guys. Advice. Don't take, like, you can't take it all. Just, be mindful. If someone's comment is shifting your zen, if it's shifting your zen to where it should not be, just excuse yourself. It's not fight, but I don't need that energy in my space, because you're dealing with so much. So you need to keep your mind positive, right? No negative vibes, that kind of thing. So guys, the next thing is no. Learn how to say no. Like, which part of the air of the no should I say, the N or the O? Just say no. Like, there are going to be so many things that you can't do everything. You don't want to see people all the time. Sometimes you want to go and say hi to the person, but leave your baby upstairs. And so, just say no. Learn to say no, because you have to be careful. Just like, this person was come and see you. This person is downstairs. No, mommy, I don't want to go. No. So learn that. Google is gonna be your bestie. Like, you need to Google everything. You're gonna Google everything. But guys, sugarcane principle: take in the juice and spit out the shaft. Not everything, you can't take everything in. And be very careful with what you're letting into your space. Like we said, no bad vibes, no bad energy. Guys, be selfish. Be very selfish with your self-care, and your mental health and your well-being is so important. Like, sometimes you just need to take a walk by yourself, guys. Sometimes you just need to give the baby to somebody else to watch, to look after them. Very important, guys. Sometimes just to supplement. There's so much pressure with breastfeeding out there. But it doesn't work for everyone. And even if you're having a good time breastfeeding and you're not having any issues, the strain might be too much for you. So supplement with formula if you have to, pump if you have to, so that other people can feed the baby. And it's not just the baby latching onto you at every So guys, that's something to think about. Healing. Think healing over snapback. There's so much snapback propaganda out there. And not everybody snapback. Some people use knife and cut it. Let's be true to ourselves. But regardless of whatever, everybody wants to look good after they have a baby and go back to their old self. But there's no old self to go back to. You're a new creation. Think about it. But focus on healing. Think of just healing mentally, physically, psychologically over snapback. You can snap back physically, but you are a mess in every other thing. So focus on healing. Now, very important, guys. Within the first 24 hours, you need to nurse frequently. Nurse or pump. If you're gonna even if you're going to use formula. Whether or not the babies will be getting enough, just put them to because the suction movement that they do helps with the milk coming in. Your milk will don't come in immediately. It'll take a few days, 1 to 3 days for your milk to come in. So that constant suction, whether or not they're really getting anything out of you, is very, very important, right? So the hospital will establish whether you're actually supplying your child any colostrum, which is the first pre-milk that comes out, and if not, they will give them formula if they need to. But just have them that suction, whether it's pumping or hand expressing or your child nursing, because it would help your milk supply, which is something that can help with the jaundice, because jaundice clears with hydration fluid. Clears jaundice. It passes through the liver, urine, and all that. So so that your supply becomes good early, and it can help you with clearing your baby's jaundice. That's very important. As well as that's it for pumping. Pump early. Something else also you need to do is educate yourself on breastfeeding. I was lucky to have seen one of my friends breastfeed before I got pregnant, and up until then I thought breastfeeding was the most, like, the sweetest, just all kumbaya, sweet, bonding, emotional, beautiful. I realized it could be painful because she was in so much pain with her baby breastfeeding, and that made me read up on it. So I learned a lot of things about breastfeeding before I had my baby. So guys, be informed, know the problems that you might face, know the interventions that are possible. And when it comes to interventions, guys, nipple shields. The hospital might help you, give you nipple shields when you first have your baby and the baby is having problems latching. But guys, you need to let go of those nipple shields as soon as possible. The first 3 days may be because the milk hasn't really come in, but as soon as your milk comes in, you can really leave with milk, the nipple shield, because your baby latching on, attempts to latch on will eventually fix it. I had my nipples were not out enough, which is why I needed nipple shields. But people have different reasons, and it was, my baby had to eventually do what she needed to do, and we're good to go at the end of the day. So be informed about whatever about breastfeeding. Take and ask for help. I'm very bad with asking for help, because I believe that when I have to ask you for help, it reduces the value of the help, because it was not your initiative, but it was very important for me to learn that. I struggled at the beginning of my 4th trimester because I wasn't asking for help, but eventually I had to, I had to learn to. So ask for help. When people offer you help, take it. Rest, guys, and this means you need to delegate things. You can't do everything. If the baby is sleeping, you need to take time to rest. So be very deliberate about your rest, and whatever can be done, and there's almost nothing that cannot be done by another person. Think about it. So apart from, like, obviously breastfeeding your baby, so anything that someone can help you with, let them help you with it. Guys, focus on eating well as opposed to dieting. Yes, we all want to lose baby weight, but especially if you're breastfeeding, your baby needs a lot of nutrients, and all those nutrients come from you. So focus on eating rich meals that are rich in nutrition and not rich in fat and calories. Rich in nutrition, do you understand? But don't cage yourself up with this diet mentality, because at the end of the day, fat can go, but the nutrients that your baby will miss if you don't eat well, you would have to pay to fix that. And then before you head to the hospital, prepare for your 4th trimester. Stock up on food. That's before the baby comes. In your last few weeks, focus on preparing, stocking up on food, making arrangements for food if it's going to contract a caterer or whatever you're going to do. Do that. Change your schedule to fit what adjust your schedule to what will work when the baby comes, especially if you have other children, so everybody gets used to what life will be like. And it's not like when you come back you're adjusting to that, you're adjusting to the baby, everything. Just try and help yourself out. So guys, there's so much, so much, but time would not permit me to share everything, and we will share so many other things as individual topics in subsequent videos. So thank you so much for watching, and you know the drill, guys. You like, you share, you comment, and you of course you subscribe. Guys, if you are not subscribing to my channel, and I'm seeing all of you, if you love me, you subscribe. Anyways, guys, so thank you once again, and all of my love. Bye.